Hello everyone, it's Amy. Welcome back for week 51 of Build Your Stash and Craft. And before we start week 51, I just wanted to show you what my twines looked like after I dyed them. I have red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. The orange that I used was a very, very light orange, and so it almost looks yellow. But they turned out really nicely. I'm really happy that I did make them. I can say that each one of these is somewhere between 60 and 70 feet long. So after I made them, I had to take them outside and I hung them across the arena fence and let them dry. So if you make them and you make them really long, make sure you've got some place you can hang them up to dry. I was wishing I still had my clothesline, but I didn't. But I thought they turned out great. In some places, they're kind of variegated. I don't know if you can see this one, the purple and the blue. I hung the purple and the blue next to each other, and so there were spots, because it was so windy outside, that they kind of got a little wound around each other. And on this one, you can see a little blue in the purple. So, and on the orange one here, because the green, yellow, and orange I hung together, you can see a little bit of the green and the yellow. And in some spots, they're a little lighter than others. So they turned out really nicely. I'm glad that they turned out that way instead of just a solid color, because it just gives them more interest. But so those are the colored twines that I made. I have not actually finished decorating the spools, which probably would have been better to decorate before I put the twine on, but it was out there and it was starting to snow. So I decided I better get them in before I painted the spools, because I didn't want to wind them up and have to unwind them again. That's quite a pain. So today I was going to do wax resist and then do some journal pages and that type of thing. And normally I try everything out before I tell you to buy it, and this week I hadn't. Well, the wax paper with the wax resist, as far as I'm concerned, did not work very well. It may be that this is a cheap wax paper that I got from the Dollar Tree, but because I remember doing that as a little kid, but they must have had more wax on them then, because it didn't work. So I had to change my plans. Now, one thing that did look cool, I just wanted to show you this one. This is just a piece of wax paper that I crumpled all up. And then I just watered down some brown paint, really watered it down, just spread it on there and let it dry. I didn't like wipe it off or spread it around too much so that I got different colors. And I think that this, putting some water glue on this, I think will make it look very leathery. And so that'll make a really cool book cover. This is what I got for my resist. And putting it on here, I had done a flower and then put on really watered down paint with a sponge. That didn't work. So I thought, well, maybe if I use a brush. That didn't really work. This one is the watercolor inks that we made, the watercolor dyes, and it worked somewhat, but not really to my liking. I didn't figure it was something to do a tutorial on. So I've changed my mind, and we are going to make, since we're getting close to Christmas, a Luminary. So, they're very easy to make, and all you need is your acrylic inks, and we will use our puzzle book next week. So I just tore off a piece of wax paper. This is how tall your Luminary is going to be, or Luminary, however you say that. And so you can make it as tall as you want to, and then it's just the full length. 12 inches is how long the wax paper is. And so I went ahead and I painted on the not shiny side, and I just used my alcohol inks, and I used, whoops, I don't want to do that. I used yellow, orange, and red. And this is one of our brushes that we got from Walmart, and this is quite a stiff bristled brush. I'm not sure what they are. Kind of some kind of polyester or something, but they're not like the super hard ones like we got from the dollar store at the beginning. So, and on one brush of your color, you can get quite a few different spots. And now, actually, earlier when I did my sample test one, I put it on a piece of paper towel because it does soak through. And I forgot to do that this time, so I'll do it when I change colors. And all I did was I just used one color at a time, and I'm going to make it look kind of like stained glass. You can also just draw pictures with your permanent markers, and those look really cute. I've got one I can show you of that one. But I'm just going to get color down the full 12 inches here, and then switch from yellow to orange. I find that if I go from yellow to orange to red, I don't have to rinse my brush, because that little bit of contamination, as far as I'm concerned, isn't going to hurt anything. So, but actually I just want to look at this a little bit. I'm going to, what did I do with my paper towel? Has anybody seen it? Well, it's all the way over on the other side of the table. There we go. Okay. And I forgot that sometimes you really need to do a second coat. So I really should have, on these ones here especially, they should have had a little bit more ink on there so they could be seen better. And you just do it randomly. There's no like right or wrong way to do it. And I tried when I first started, and unless I figured out a pattern, I tried to make it so that like orange didn't touch orange and red didn't touch red, and that didn't work so well. So if you're really picky about something like that, you'll want to actually plan out a pattern before you start so that they don't touch each other. So like I said, this is just a quick stained glass way to do it. And there's so many ways that you could do it. I could have looked, I have tons of my mom's quilt books. She was a quilter. And I could have looked at those and used a pattern from those too. That would have been really cool. Alrighty, and now I'm going to go from orange, shut it, to the red. And it really doesn't take much. Now you can't use your dyes for this. It does have to be your alcohol inks, because I did try the dyes and they did not work. They did not stick to the paper because of the slick surface. And my red and my orange are looking very much the same color. I think that was orange. Well, this is kind of cool. See the red? There's a crinkle in my paper, and it just sucked right up that crinkle. Alrighty. So that's all we need to do with that. And we're going to let that dry for just a few minutes. And while that's drying, we'll build a base to put it on when we get it put together. So, what I've done, I'll show you what we're making. This is what we're making. Little luminary. Let me take the candle out. And on this one, I put my colors on the inside because I was thinking with the candle shining through it that it would be prettier that way. But I think that on the next one that we're making, I'm going to put my actual colors on the outside because then it looks prettier when it's just sitting there and it's not lit. So, but I just made a base for it and put a little candle in there, and it looks really pretty. So that's what we're doing. So when we have 12 inches on our wax paper, and we're going to take an inch off of that, so that will give us 11 inches. That means that each one of our 4 sides is going to be 2 3/4. So I made a base of cardboard at 3.5 inches. And then I just cut 2 pieces so that it was a little thicker, so that when I set my luminary over top of it, that it would stay right there. And I cut these at 2 3/4 inches because that's going to be the size of each of our sides. And then all we need to do is just glue these together. Just kind of give those a bit of a rub. And I'm just going to eyeball it. If you want it to be absolutely perfect, you can measure it and put little lines on your cardboard. To me, I'm good with close. And I'm just getting glue everywhere, which isn't going to matter because we're going to paint it. Alrighty. So that's going to be our base, and I'm going to paint this base the same as the other one. And I'm just going to do it while I'm here, while we're still waiting for the other to dry. But you probably should wait for the glue to dry. Let me grab my paintbrushes. I moved stuff around here before I started, and now nothing's where it's supposed to be. And you don't have to paint this part if you don't want to, because it is on the inside of the luminary. But it's just kind of nice for it to be finished off like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and paint it also. And then put some little red dots on it, and I did that just using a skewer. And I only put on 1 coat because I kind of liked the looks of the brush marks and the little bit of cardboard that was kind of peeking through. So you can do it however you'd like to. Decorating, as you've seen, I did not decorate my spools yet. The decorating part is never like my favorite part. My favorite part is the construction of things. I have a real good friend that we've done some really nice art projects together. And I build them and she paints them. So we make a really good team. But even though there's lots of videos out there where you can watch people like showing you how to decorate things, much better than what I do. And I almost wasn't even going to finish these, and I made myself. So there we go. That was easy enough. Just a little bit of red paint. And that's probably more than I needed. So I'm just going to take my skewer and just dunk it in the red paint. Oh, there's a hair on there. That is not the skewer that I want. And I just randomly put them around. No rhyme, no reason. Just keep moving. That makes it the easiest if you just keep moving. Not necessarily fast, but don't think about it. Just do it. And that makes it a whole lot easier than trying to think about it. And, oh, do I want it here? Do I want it there? Or, oh no, that one's not exactly spaced from the other one like the first one is. I've spent years teaching myself not to have it perfect, and I'm still teaching myself that. There we go. And then I'm going to use the point of this one and just put little dots around. Just kind of filling gaps here and there. Thank you all very much for watching my videos. I really appreciate it. We have one more video before the end of the year. I do apologize that this is a little bit, it's not what I planned on doing, so a little bit unprepared, I guess I should say. But yeah, when it doesn't work, you just got to do something else. Then that'll work. It's just been ever since October when we were getting ready to go to our daughter's, and I had lost my video editor. I kind of lost a little bit of my gumption. So there's our base. Now this I'm not going to put the dots on because that is going to be covered up, but it's nice that it has color to it. So, but I do appreciate everyone watching, and I'm so happy that I'm going to make it to the end of the year. I will make myself make it to the end of the year. All right, so here is our colors. There's one big pool there I want to dry off a little bit. And then we're going to use our black permanent marker and just outline it like a stained glass window. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just make some definition between the colors. Don't overlap like that. At least try and make your lines match up. But I can't change it now, so I'm just going to go with the flow. And there we go. Did I miss any? Let's put one right here. And I think I have them all. Okay, so this is going to be our shade. And I am going to flip this over. Okay, so there's our shade. What we're going to do now, I want this to be on the outside. So I'm going to fold it in half. Like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold down 1/2 inch. Remember I told you we're only going to have 12 inches or 11 inches instead of 12. Now I'm folding down 1/2 inch, just kind of eyeballing it. But you want to do that first, and that's on the open end. You fold in 1/2 inch because that's where we're going to glue it together. And then take the whole thing and fold it in half one more time. Now you have 4 equal sides and a place to glue it. And there we go. And before we even, well, no, wait a minute. I'm going to take this one that needs to be folded out, and I'm going to fold it out right now. That one's folded out, that one's folded out, that one's folded out, so is that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue that together, and I'm just going to use tacky glue. That works pretty well on this. And here it is. I'll tell you, it's just one of those days. Once I figured out that what I was going to try didn't work, it has just been, although this turned out really pretty and I really like this. And it is a good time of year for this, so I guess I'm kind of glad it didn't work. But it did throw me for a loop. Okay, so I've glued that flap together, and now I'm gonna put some here and glue it down to the side that it's next to. Just like that. Now the reason that you don't just fold a 1/2 inch on one side is because then your sides won't be all the same. That's why you have to do a 1/2 inch on each end and then fold it in half again. That gives you 4 equal sides. And you don't want to take an inch off one end because then, again, that side would be really short. So there is that. And then that just fits on here. Just fit it right over top of that square. And there we go. There is our Luminary. And now I have 2. And I did them in just nice bright colors. You could put Christmas trees on them. You could do anything you want if you want them for Christmas. I want to just keep them with my art stuff for Build Your Stash and Craft. So I did them in the primary colors that kind of match the box that I started. So we have that one. And then here's the first one that I made. And those will look nice sitting up with my other stuff. Now this is my very first sample one. I'll show you what I did here. I was saying you could draw on it. So my first sample one, instead of gluing those 2 1/2 inch pieces together, I glued them around, what do you call it? A skewer. And then stuck the skewer into the cardboard. And I was going to put one on all 4 corners, and that didn't work because I couldn't make it look the way I wanted it to look. And then with only the one and with the base in the bottom to hold it there, I decided there's no need for a skewer, especially if I can't have 4. So, but you know, this is how you can do, and again, these are drawn on the inside because I thought that the light showing through would make them prettier. And with the drawing, actually, I think I do like them drawn on the inside. But with the patchwork stained glass, I like it on the outside. But so that's the first one that I did. So you can draw on them. You can paint on them. If you paint on them, I'd water your paint down a lot so that they'll still glow. You know, you don't want it to be, you know, acrylic paint is really, really thick. So you don't want that to be blocking your light. So, but there we go. This is our project for this week. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope that you try making some. Just put that back where it belongs. And again, thank you very much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. And I'll show you what we need for next week. Almost forgot. Okay, so we're at our final week of the year. And so what we're going to get for next week, because we don't have any of these, and the Dollar Tree, I just got these, so they just got them in. And so this one they've had for a long time, and I have used these before. It's the Gold and Silver Metallic from the Dollar Tree. It's ink. And these work really well. I really like them. So there's a gold and a silver with a ballpoint pen. Then they had, and I've never seen these before, these are called glitter markers. And I have opened them and tried them to see that they work well, and they really do. So they had these 2 different packs with the 4 colors, so we'll get those. And these are metallic. And they have got the pink and blue and the purple and the green. And so these are what we're going to get for next week, along with some of our foam mounting tape. And then we'll also need you'll need maybe some magazine pages, some, you know, pretty little pictures, and some of your masking tape, and our puzzle book, and our wax paper. So that's what we need for next week. But this is what we need to pick up. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things to pick up for next week. And then I figured this will give us a really nice glittery, metallic-y, and I'll show you what they even look like. If the light will catch it, I don't know. But these 4 are the glitter, and they really do have a little bit. I was very curious as to whether they would work. I wasn't really sure. And then these are the metallics, and they have a really nice metallic shine to them. And then this is the silver and the gold. So this is what they all look like, and they give us some really nice shine. So I thought that'd be great to have in our package before the year ends. So this is what we'll need for next week, and we used an extra $1. So we had $13 in our bank. Now we have $12 left in our bank, and it will be the start of the new year. So hopefully I'll see you next week, and I really appreciate you stopping by. Thank you very much, and I hope that you all have an outstanding day. Bye-bye.